Tonight, a BC seniors advocate is pushing for a rural seniors ministry. Plus, a look into how the current drought conditions will impact our salmon populations. And a new tourism campaign is going on with a video highlighting communities on Highway 16. Good evening, folks. I'm Eddie Huband, and welcome to CKPG News. Our top story tonight, BC's top booster for seniors affairs in the province swung through Prince George following the release of her final report of her term as the BC Seniors Advocate. And not surprisingly, it had some damning findings, mainly that in rural communities, 25% of the population is seniors, yet the services for seniors are sorely lacking. Cheryl Jan has the story.
For the past decade, BC Seniors Advocate Isabel McKenzie hasn't held any punches, sometimes releasing scathing reports on the treatment of seniors in the province. And she has done it again. It's titled Resilient and Resourceful, Challenges Facing BC's Rural Seniors. And according to her, there are many. For example, while rural communities are home to a quarter of the seniors' population, access to acute care beds is 70% lower. And there is a quirkier but more disturbing finding.
Far more likely to be married if you live in urban BC than rural BC. And what that reflects is not lack of internet dating. What it reflects is more likely to be a widow or a widower, right? So it's reflective of an overall shorter length of life, not dramatically on average, but it's there.
The Shadow Minister for Seniors Services looks at the report as validation of what she's seen for years.
When you look at the inequity that exists for seniors who live in rural British Columbia, and the report clearly outlines what they are, whether it is transportation, whether it is income, whether it is healthcare, whether it is even longevity, the extra years of life that seniors have. It's lower in northern British Columbia and rural British Columbia.
And the report comes with 7 recommendations, starting with a housing strategy for rural seniors, a transportation plan, a home and community care strategy, and a ministry or minister of state for rural BC.
6% of the population lives in 4% of the landmass, and that is reflected in our electoral map as well. It's not distorted to that degree, but it's still heavily distorted in favor of urban representation because that's where the people are.
It's a concept that resonates with Shirley Bond.
Seniors in British Columbia, whether you live in rural or urban British Columbia, deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. They built this province, and so I think a recommendation that says we need to have their views, their interests, and their concerns represented in government is an important one.
And she says the report is a call to action when the legislature resumes next week. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.
Housing has been quite a big topic this week. Provincially, there's been 2 big housing announcements, one by the provincial government, the BC Builds project, and then also the BC United Party announcing some housing policy that they want to implement should they get elected. Adam Burles joins us to discuss this now. So, Adam, I'll let you take this wherever you want. Where do you want to start with these 2 sort of big announcements here?
Right. Well, I wanted to mention, first of all, that it was no coincidence that the BC United Party was going to announce their own housing initiative, housing plan policy right after the government's BC Builds program was announced earlier in the week. There was no coincidence about this. We have the budget speech and the throne speech coming up within less than a week now. So it's no coincidence that we're going to see lots of housing talk recently as it's top of mind for a lot of British Columbians. And to tell you a bit more about the Premier's plans when it comes to housing, we have a small clip here for you to tell you about what he had to say.
This is an initiative that used to take place in Canada. You know, we built housing for soldiers returning from war. We built rental housing using tax credits. We built co-ops, and government just stopped doing it. And it's something that Singapore never stopped doing, and Seoul, Korea never stopped doing, and Vienna never stopped doing. And Singapore has 80% home ownership. There's millions of people on a little island. They have way more land constraint than we are, and people can actually afford to buy a place in Singapore. If they can do it, absolutely we can do it in British Columbia.
So the Premier mentioning a lot about, rents are going to be a focus for both parties as we kind of head into the election season, which is pretty much already underway. We have 2 major housing announcements pretty much back to back. I mean, this is a sign that, elections in the not too distant future.
And two sort of different views at achieving sort of the same goal at solving this housing crisis. Now, with these major announcements, excuse me, by both parties, provincial politics is gearing up for a big week next week with the throne speech and the budget in the same week.
Right.
Like, is this common to have all this going on around the same time?
Right. Not really. I mean, usually the budget speech and the throne speech, the way it's worked in the past is that they've usually been a week apart. Throne speech always comes first, that's read by the Lieutenant Governor on behalf of the government as the King's representative, but never in this short amount of time has a throne speech and a budget speech happened within 2 days of each other. That's, you know, in my political science mind, that's never really happened before, not to my recent memory.
And then on top of that, you have these two announcements by both parties. A lot of stuff going on right now down in Victoria.
Yeah, the Premier has consistently said he would wait until the October date to hold an election. But, you know, again, I go back to my political mind thinking, well, there's a lot of rumblings here. I mean, throne speech, budget speech, there's going to be some big announcements there. The Premier's already said they're planning on getting 20 bills passed, addressed in this upcoming session on housing, affordability, crime, healthcare. They're going to try and get a lot done, but it's only a matter of time before an election gets called, and the Premier wants to have as many positive things on his resume as he can before that election is called, whenever it may be.
And looking at the budget that is coming up, obviously, next week, what's going to be the Premier's priorities for this year's budget?
Right. Well, housing, obviously. Housing, right. That's going to be number one probably out of anything. Affordability, crime, healthcare, that's going to be another one too. There's been lots of talks about healthcare. Kamloops had their cancer care announcement just last week. So they're making a lot of big announcements. We had that up here in November when our long-term care, when they announced that a long-term care facility is going to be built up here fairly soon. Lots of big announcements. You usually don't get a lot of those big announcements when it's not an election year. So even though that long-term care announcement was in November, it's election season, and there's going to be a lot of announcements, lots of priorities for the Premier, but it's going to be those big three: affordability, healthcare, housing.
Provincial politics is certainly heating up these days. Adam Burrows, we appreciate your insight, as always.
Thank you.
And it's no secret that this winter has been short on snow, but just how big of a problem are we facing? Tommy Osborne brings us the stats now and what it means for our wildlife, including our salmon population.
While some of us may be celebrating the lack of snow this winter, it's not good news for our wildlife, specifically salmon. Across the province, we only have 61% of our normal snowpack, and here in Upper Fraser, it's only 65%.
We're going into 3 years of drought, so although this snowpack is low, we cannot forget that this will be year 3 of this journey, and so it's cumulative over time.
I'm standing where the Fraser River should be, but instead it is just a dry patch of land. I can even pick up a rock here. These rocks are completely dry, not a speck of moisture on them. And this is the Fraser River, the longest in the province. So if the Fraser River is this dried up, you can imagine those smaller side streams. Those don't really have a chance. And that is really bad news for our salmon population because those side streams are essential for their survival.
It's not giving fry a chance to move up the stream system during this particular era, and then of course we don't have a chance to take them back out again until the following year. So our mortalities are going to be high.
Without a snowpack, the freshets have been drying out in just a couple of days. It's not just water volume either, water temperature has been rising too with warmer days and less water to keep it cool. When you combine the lack of side streams available and potential rising temperatures, Selesky warns of problems quickly stacking up.
Over the years, the scientists have documented that where we used to have 30 and 40 pound Chinook salmon in the ocean, we now have 8 and 10 pound Chinook salmon.
There are still 2 or 3 months left in the snow season, so it's possible that our snowpack recovers. However, Selesky says there just isn't enough time left unless we get a ridiculously large storm.
If the spring freshet starts early and the ground is still frozen, then that water just goes across the land base and into the systems and then down to Vancouver in a hurry. So we really want a large snowpack, a slow melt, and a nice permeation into the ground levels to really do this.
While it might be difficult to actively want snow, at this point it's needed to try and balance out what's looking to be another incredibly dry summer. Tommy Osborne, CKPG News.
Walker Rides is the story of a bond between a man and his dog and their adventures along Highway 16. And a new video to promote travel along Route 16 showcases just how close the two are. Adam Burles has the story.
A man, his dog, and two wheels. That's just a brief summary of a new video released by the Tour Route 16 campaign. CEO of Tourism Prince George, Colin Carson, explains what the Tour Route 16 campaign is all about.
It's a really cool project with a variety of communities along Highway 16 to encourage motorcycle travel. We know that that's a pretty popular motorcycle route for a lot of travelers, especially a lot of travelers from southern BC and the United States. So we all started working together to promote this specific route as a motorcycle trip.
We're experiencing the ride in totally different ways, where I'm having the bars in my hands and the road surface and the curves, all the things that a motorcyclist wants to feel, he doesn't care about. He's concerned about the animals and the smells. He's taking a totally different translation when we stop.
With this new video, Walker Rides, the Tour Route 16 campaign is picking certain areas of the route to highlight, and Walker Rides is featuring Prince George. Daniel Stark was the director of Walker Rides and tells us the process behind creating the video.
You pick a few pieces that are going to stick with your story, and then you just have to roll with it as things change, as things move. So we picked Jim and Walker as our subjects, and then we kind of just figure it out. We have a little sprint phase, and we do interviews, and then we try to get out on the road with them and just keep cameras rolling, find cool spots.
Walk gets very, very happy when he knows he's going on the ride. He does everything he can to help me out. When it's bath time, you can't get him to volunteer to walk to the bathroom and stand in the shower. There's no way.
Daniel Stark says that with projects like these, it allows fun and creativity to flourish on all sides.
Honestly, I feel like that's half of what's fun about these projects is getting to see other lifestyles, other points of interest that people are carrying with them. And to see Jim and his dog, it just makes you wish you had a dog of your own. It makes you wish that you had a buddy that you could just get outside with and play.
I'm a simple man and I sing a simple song. I sing a simple song because I know it won't take long and it makes me happy.
Adam Burles, CKPG News.
In other news, with a pair of significant events, the 2024 Para-Biathlon World Championships and the Para-Nordic World Cup Finals happening at the Caledonia Nordic Ski Club in less than a month, some major sponsors have come on board, and Coastal GasLink is one of them, supporting both the events. The events take place in mid-March, and CGL says it's proud to be a part of those two exciting competitions.
Well, Coastal GasLink is so proud to be sponsoring again this year the Para-Biathlon and Para-Nordic Finals. We sponsored the Para-Nordic Championships back in 2019 and witnessed what an amazing event that was for Prince George, bringing world-class athletes to here in Prince George. And the team at the Caledonia Nordic group came to us again, and we were more than happy and thrilled to be a part of this event again, welcoming world-class athletes and showcasing this amazing facility we have here at Otway. What a phenomenal opportunity, and TC Energy and our Coastal GasLink team, we really believe in supporting community events and projects.
And if you're looking for plans for Family Day, the Caledonia Nordic Ski Club will be hosting a day of fun with the help of the Lheidli First Nation. Sam Bennison has more.
A partnership has been formed between the Caledonia Nordic Ski Club and the Lheidli, and to celebrate, the ski club will be hosting their inaugural BC Families and Lheidli Day.
We had members come to us and say, can we do more? Should we do more? I mean, we're on our tenures on the ancestral lands of the Lheidli, and so we thought we would go ask. So we reached out, we went and talked with the band, with the chief, and that progressed into a partnership that's all about, again, recreation and healthy living and being included and involved, and that's what we're trying to do, is have a day that celebrates that.
The goal of the partnership is to bring the Lheidli and the community of Prince George together while enjoying the center's amenities, featuring a respectful acknowledgement pledge from the Caledonia Nordic Ski Club as they recognize the ancestral land on which they live, work, and play.
We're really excited and really honored to be part of this partnership. What's happening on Monday is a celebration, and it's about community, it's about family, it's about inclusiveness, it's about awareness, it's about coming out and having a nice day on our trails here at Otway.
Members of the Clay-Lay-Tenay community will have a chance to enjoy the ski center, many for the first time.
Reconnecting with each other is important. Long time ago in our early youth, we used to sit down with our elders at the smoke shacks, and we call it our slenyos, and do our fishing and just reconnect with our elders in that sense. So it's important for us to reconnect with each other as a community.
And as for Lance, he's excited to roast a hot dog.
There's going to be music, there's going to be skiing, of course, snowshoeing, discounts and all of that, free day passes. Over at a gravel pit, we have sliders and a fire and hot dogs, and so I think I might have a hot dog.
Sam Benison, CKPG News.
This week, we're shining the spotlight on a new superhero film, or anti-hero film, I should say, Deadpool and Wolverine, starring Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. This is the third installment in the immensely popular Deadpool franchise. In fact, this franchise is so popular that it actually broke the record as most views in the first 24 hours for a new movie trailer in history, with a staggering 365 million views for this movie's trailer.
Who are you? Why am I here?
Walk with me.
Wait.
You are special. This is your chance.
To be a hero among heroes. I smell what you're stepping in, Sensei. Your little cinematic universe is about to change forever.
In this story, Wolverine is recovering from his injuries when he crosses paths with the loudmouth Deadpool, and they of course team up to defeat a common enemy. This movie will have tons of high-flying action and plenty of quippy humor as well.
I'm the Messiah. I am Marvel Jesus.
Reynolds and his irreverent humor fit perfectly for the Deadpool character, and Jackman returns to reprise his famous role as Wolverine as one of the most beloved superhero characters in the modern movie era. Deadpool and Wolverine's release date is set for July 26, 2024. It's going to be quite a summer blockbuster.
God, I love this part. Wait! Don't just stand there, you ape. Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much.
As of this morning, the lowest gas price in Prince George was sitting at $1.42.9 per litre at Costco. That also happens to be the lowest price in BC right now. Manitoba currently has the lowest fuel prices on average in Canada at $1.24.7 per litre. BC, meanwhile, has an average price of $1.64.2 per litre.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Feed your team tonight with a delicious mix and match combo. Chicken, pizza, pasta, or dessert for just $8.99 per item.
The Prince George Cougars welcome in the Kamloops Blazers to town tonight, where the team will celebrate Captain Hudson Thornton, who set 3 incredible Prince George Cougars franchise records. Anthony Correa caught up with the Cougars defenseman to talk about his special night, along with the home-and-home versus Kamloops tonight and tomorrow, as well as Monday's special game at the CN Centre.
I'm joined by Prince George Cougars defenseman and captain Hudson Thornton. Hudson, obviously a very special night tonight. You guys take on the Kamloops Blazers, but let's talk about personal achievement and just being honored by the franchise for all-time leading points, Cougars and defensemen, and just how special that is.
Yeah, I think that's obviously pretty special. I think that just goes to show, how first class of an organization Prince George is. And when I broke all these records, obviously didn't expect to get my own night out of it or anything, and obviously they did it for Hyder last weekend, and obviously pretty cool. And for me to have mine tonight is obviously going to be pretty special, and just kind of look back over the years and all the people that played a role in me being able to achieve all this, and it just kind of goes back to how special Prince George is, and how first class this organization is.
Now let's talk a little bit about the game. Kamloops, you got a home and home, obviously home tonight, on the road tomorrow. You've probably had plenty of these in your WHL career. Maybe the best way to kind of approach a home and home weekend.
Yeah, I think just obviously take advantage of tonight or at home, and just kind of have to set the tone for the weekend, and then obviously tomorrow we got to hop on the bus and go day trip, which we haven't done this year, so it'll be a new thing for our group. But I think just taking it one day at a time, can't think about the day trip or anything about tomorrow. Just kind of take tonight as it comes, and obviously try to get a win tonight, and then worry about tomorrow.
One final one, obviously Monday is going to be a very special one. Fight for cancer, Pink in the Rink. Talk a little bit about that special occasion, and big crowd, big atmosphere.
Yeah, exactly, and that's obviously a really special night, and obviously cancer's such a terrible thing in this world, and it's something that people have to go through, unfortunately, and we had the opportunity a couple weeks ago to go and tour the BC or the Northern BC Cancer Center, and just kind of see what those people do. Those people are heroes, and kind of just to honor those people, and obviously the people that are battling such a terrible disease. Obviously, it's going to be a special game for our group, and I think it's one we're all looking forward to.
There we go, and it starts with tonight. Kamloops, Prince George, puck drop at 7 o'clock. You don't want to miss it.
The TSX is up 33 points to close at 21,256. The Dow Jones is down 145 points to close at 38,628. And CN Rail went up 14 cents to close at $175.06.
Good evening again, everyone. We have a long weekend full of sunshine. We are so fortunate here in our part of the province because, yes, it is just going to be the blue sky that persists through the long weekend. So we'll enjoy it, get out while you can, but of course bundle up. It's chilly. Looking back at the day, a beautiful day today. This system here is going to bring some rain to parts of the coastal sections and inland towards the southern interior. They could pick up some flurries by the end of the weekend, but certainly nothing in the way of any major weather makers for us here where we are. So futurecast, we see the sunshine, the clear skies holding strong for our Saturday into Sunday as well. You can see things do change a little bit, but at this point we're not anticipated to see too much in the way of any precipitation, maybe a bit of more cloud cover on Sunday just ahead of that system. But we'll take the sunny sky here and up in the Peace. Look at that, 4 degrees, Fort St. John tomorrow. Wonderful weather for your Saturday and for us as well. Again, wind chills will take the temperature down a little bit more, and it'll be colder tonight and tomorrow morning, but through the day it looks good. Cloudier down through the southern part of the province as that next system approaches. -4 Fort St. James, sunshine there. Mackenzie as well. We'll see temperatures around 0 in Vanderhoof, and beautiful sunny sky in Quesnel as well. Across the country, the west looks pretty good, nice and dry for the most part into Saturday at least, and actually some nice bright sky as well in some parts. Edmonton, Regina, Winnipeg looking good. Further east, it's a slightly different story, although a bit of an improvement tomorrow as opposed to what they saw today, which was a lot of precipitation in many areas. But -5 for Montreal is a cold one. Clear skies, we'll see precipitation down through Toronto. So mix of sun and cloud early into the week. We're jumping ahead now into early next week, where we do continue to see the sunny sky persist. So through our family day long weekend looking great, and even to start off the work week next week as well. Burns Lake cold tonight, -22. You are looking at a very chilly temperature for yet one more night, and then it starts to get a little bit better. But sunshine tomorrow, a bit more cloud cover Sunday, Monday, but a lot milder by Monday at 4 degrees. Mackenzie, -15, clear skies tonight. Sunshine tomorrow into your Sunday, Monday, looking pretty nice right through most of next week as well, although we won't jump too far ahead. McBride, -14, clear skies expected for tonight. We are going to see plenty of sunshine tomorrow, and temperatures actually get above 0 for Saturday, Sunday, and then jump up even more for Monday. So right through the family day long weekend in McBride, there is Beautiful, beautiful weather, and temperatures are pretty nice as well. Minus 16, clear and cold tonight in Quesnel. Plenty of sunshine, though, for the weekend. Again, there will be some wind out there on and off throughout the region, so wind chills, again, just keeping in mind it could feel a lot colder than what the posted temperature is. So for us, clear and cold tonight. That's a good way to sum it up. Plenty of sunshine for our day tomorrow. -1 for both Saturday, Sunday. Sunday, we might see a little bit more cloud cover, but no real moisture moving into our area. And then Monday looks great. So family day, long weekend, fantastic. And there's, of course, lots happening this weekend that you can get outside for. Family day skate on Monday might be a good idea with a temperature like that. I think that'll be pretty pleasant.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Feed your team tonight with a delicious mix and match combo. Chicken, pizza, pasta, or dessert for just $8.99 per item.
The Prince George Spruce Kings are taking on the Island teams this weekend, with the first stop being in Victoria. And a couple returning faces will be hitting the ice. Marcus Yim, who made his debut last weekend after getting injured in the preseason, will be back, along with Ben LaFranc, who's played in 117 games so far during his time with the Kings. He's making his way off IR as well. The two of them are excited to get some travel time in with the team to make up for 5 months lost.
That was my first kind of major injury I've ever had, so it was a tough experience, especially it being in the last exhibition game of the year. But coming back, it's been great to be around the team. It was obviously a tough first 2 games, but being around this tight group of guys, I really missed it, and it's great to be back and playing. And this weekend is obviously going to be a long trip to the island, but it's going to be close to my home in Vancouver, so hopefully my parents will make it out, and then also have a great time on the bus with the guys and get close with the guys.
It's a lot of fun to be back. Yeah, it was a long road getting to this point. I mean, August was my surgery, so yeah, it's really fun.
And the NBA All-Star Weekend is here, and one of the highlights, of course, is the dunk contest. So Tommy Osborne brings us some of the best dunks this season from this year's contestants in tonight's CKP3.
Starting off with Jaylen Brown and his league-leading Celtics.
Here comes Brown, puts it down! What can Brown do for you?
What a slam! That burst from the three-point line to slice through not 1, not 2, but 3 defenders. And then he finishes it off by posterizing Trey Lyles. Speed and hops like that is why Brown will be dunking for the crown this weekend. Next up, Jaime Jaquez Jr. shows he can do it all.
Right there because nobody picked him up in transition. Jaquez Jr. Yes!
The rookie Jaquez Jr. making a senior level play on defense, and just look at that speed. He snatches the ball away, and the airtime he has is unreal. If that's how he's dunking in just a regular game, taking off just 1 step away from the free throw line, I can't wait to see what he has up his sleeve for the dunk contest. Finally, the defending champ himself.
Now a knock away, and McClung's got it. Runway's clear, and he brings it down.
Mac McClung is in the G League, but that didn't stop him from being crowned as the dunk king last year. He hit us with the spinorama in this regular season game, proving why he's still the guy to beat in tonight's CKP3.
Hello from the CKPG Today side. Got a great one over here to end the week before the long weekend. Of course, we're going to meet our next submission from the CKPG Today Wedding Proposal Contest, presented by us, of course, and the Imogen White Wedding Gallery, along with many other local sponsors. Today, we're going to feature Carla's submission, and it is a pretty unique story, I will add. So we've got a lot of submissions since Valentine's Day, as you would imagine. So this contest keeps on giving us great stories. You'll have to tune into the show to hear the full story, but Carla is entered into that draw, and you can be too. Head online to enter it. Over you to the other side, though, we are interviewing some little folks ahead of a big wrestling event this long weekend, and I don't know, who are you rooting for in the primetime wrestling competition at the Civic Center?
You know, I'm going to have to go with Short Sleeve Samson. I got to meet a couple of the wrestlers earlier today. It was a lot of fun. They seem like they're going to have a great time tonight and tomorrow, and it should be a great show. So yeah, I'm going with Short Sleeve, Caden Fanshaw. And we have one last thing to get to today. The city has set up something special for Family Day on Monday. Here's more.
We were just looking for something fun to do for families, and we thought what better thing to do in the wintertime than a family skate. So on Monday February the 19th, we're offering free skating at the Copar Memorial Arena from noon till 2 p.m. Totally free of charge, and that's thanks to a nice grant we're getting from BCRPA.
All right, folks, that wraps things up. Thanks so much for joining us as always. We did it. It's the end of the week. Please enjoy your long weekend, and we will see you